Patreon.com/the Walk Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there.
If you're watching this right now and you haven't hit the like button, Billy, get on it. Bug your brother. Tell him to do the same. The Markham madman, Jordan Romano. And he continues to be a premier closer in the game today. I know if you just look at his stats over the last 2 years, he truly does just rank in there in the top 5 closers in baseball. There's no arguing it. Those are the numbers. He already leads Major League Baseball in saves this year with 6.
Mm-hmm.
The guy now has his own light show entrance that Sportsnet is actually playing. Did you actually get a chance to see him run in?
I did catch that. Is that going to be a regular occurrence, or was that just a one-off?
I think it's going to be a regular occurrence. I think they really are trying to drive the hype train a little bit more on their broadcasts. I know that the drone thing they do, dude, where they're flying in behind him with the, like, it is so cool. I love the drone thing right off the top when they follow the starting pitcher onto the mound. But with the light show,
I suppose the reason you wouldn't show it is that's a commercial break.
Yes.
Historically, that has been an opportunity to sell ads, but I guess if they are looking ahead smartly, this is potentially an opportunity to be like
a huge sponsorship possibility, right?
Yeah, it's the Jordan Romano walk-in brought to you by Left Field Brewery, and then Left Field can drop us because they got to spend all their dollars on the Jordan Romano entrance. So,
yeah. It is true though. It's funny when you're like, you look at it and you're like, oh, are they giving up advertising dollars? And really what they're doing is they're just advertising space.
Left Field Brewery needs a Markham Madman beer.
Yes, they do. The closer.
Yeah, the one that you drink at the end of the night.
Hey, I like that.
There you go.
Maybe a stout or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Nightcap. Okay.
Yeah, something with electrolytes to fight off that hangover in the morning. Who knows? All right, there you go. Pass it along.
I don't know if everyone heard the story about Tim Meza and him razzing Jordan Romano, but I guess Romano showed up late to practice and Tim Meza right away jumps in there and he said, "Oh, you're a little behind. What were you waiting for your light show before coming to work?" And it reminded me of when we had Danny Jansen on the show and we asked Danny who the funniest dude in the clubhouse was. And it kind of surprised both of us because he said, like, he didn't even think about it. He was just like, oh, yeah, Tim Meza. Tim Meza is the funniest dude. He's got the sharpest wit. He's always the quickest guy with a barb. And, that's a good example of that right there.
There it is. Jordan Romano, 6 saves to lead Major League Baseball right now. Are you surprised how much he's getting used already? Last 2 seasons, 63 appearances and 62 appearances in 2022 and 2021. This year, he already has 8 through 16 games. So he's on pace for, small sample size, but he's on pace for 80 appearances at this rate. That's a mega workload.
It's a mega workload. And you look at his whip and it's right where you want it to be, right? 1.13. He has been pretty dominant this season, 3.38 ERA, which is a little higher than his career average of 2.62. But Jordan Romano, and pardon my late 80s hockey Alberta reference here. I'm really showing my age and where I'm from. But Jordan Romano reminds me a little bit of Grant Fuhr, goaltender for the Oilers back in the 80s, because the thing that Fuhr always did for Edmonton was he never gave up the lead. Now, the downfall to Grant Fuhr and why his numbers don't look as good as maybe some of the top Hall of Fame goaltenders out there is that if it was 2-1, they didn't score more than 1 goal. But if it was a 7-6 game, they didn't score more than 6 goals, right? Like
Yeah.
he would let you go right to where you had to go. And Romano reminds me of that a little bit, right? Like when Jordan Romano comes in with a 3-run lead, I'm always like, oh God, he's going to allow a run and load the bases for sure, right? He gets the save, he shuts it down, but he makes us fans sweat a little bit, doesn't he?
Sure does. Like he's got what 7 or 8 outings. I think all but one have been lights out so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the most confidence I've almost ever had in Jordan Romano. He is not a perfect closer, but I love the guy. Like Canadian kid, he's like got an edge to him, which you
Yeah.
need in a closer. You know, like a real personality, and it is just. I mean, I could have a Jordan Romano jersey. I'd feel good about that.
I agree with that, and I think one of the more endearing things about Romano is that he had to work for this. This is not a, with all due respect to Nate Pearson, this is not a Nate Pearson type of closer that has developed here where he just had phenomenal stuff right out of the gate. Everyone wanted a piece of Romano. That's not Jordan Romano's career trajectory, right? He struggled as a starter. He couldn't make it work. He actually got DFA'd. He was picked up by the Texas Rangers in the Rule 5 draft and then just never stuck with them and wound up being sent back to Toronto, where they then turned him into a reliever. Like Jordan Romano's path to the big leagues and his path to being a top 5 closer in all of baseball is not the same of a lot of these other closers that you talk about with the big numbers and the big money, right? So pretty cool to watch a Canadian kid get there.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm not high enough on Jordan Romano because I am famously a Bo Bichette apologist.
Mm-hmm.
The Bo Bichette has warts of his own, and I think I just have talked myself into this morning recognizing that like Jordan Romano has warts. He struggles when he has a base runner on base. It is what it is. He's still
Yeah,
awesome.
he's still
He's
awesome.
still like the best option we have because we're going to talk bullpen circle of trust here in a minute. There's no one else in this bullpen for all Jordan Romano's flaws.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
That I
one
would
else I
rather
would
see.
rather see in a 3-2 game in the top of 9. Like so, kudos to Jordan Romano because yeah, good Canadian kid on a good Canadian team in a good Canadian role, closing out a game.
Couldn't agree more.